All right, we have so much to talk to Congresswoman Haley Stevens about, and she has been kind enough to give us a couple of minutes here on 760 WJR. It is a pleasure, Congresswoman. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you. Delighted to be here.
Absolutely. So, Congresswoman, obviously 1.4 million Michiganders are worried. 42 million people in the country are worried about this government shutdown. Just in terms of Saturday alone, SNAP benefits will be going away. Is this, do you believe, the red line that will reopen the government?
Well, it's certainly something that's keeping me awake at night because people everywhere I go have been talking to me about these SNAP benefits, and frankly, for weeks. In fact, just a handful of days ago, I was in Pontiac, Michigan, participating in a trunk or treat. There's always great community events going on in Pontiac, and this was to support the football team, a youth football team that had started up. And, you know, parents were excited to be out there with their kiddos, but just a few minutes into the conversation, they were talking to me about the price of candy, and some were asking me about SNAP benefits and feeling very frustrated. And right now, this administration is making a policy choice not to go into reserve funds to keep SNAP going. And I find it really wrong. I think we're clearly in a cost of living crisis moment right now with $1.3 trillion of credit card debt in this country. People are putting grocery bills on credit cards. And I really believe this is why we need my bill, the No Tariffs on Groceries Act, which I introduced a handful of weeks ago to address the rising cost of food at the stores.
Which I think is a terrific bill, by the way, to lessen the price of your groceries and to take these extra tariffs and this tax off of some of the food that people have such a hard time to afford to begin with. It's hard enough out there. There's no doubt. But in order to do that, you know, to make the main thing, don't we have to reopen the government in order to get some of these conversations started, to get some of this, these acts and this legislation negotiated? Because nothing is seeming to get done at all while the government is shut down. Yeah,
and it's been, frankly, very bizarre that Speaker Mike Johnson has just left Congress out of session, has not called Congress back to negotiate and to work on reopening the government. I'm certainly sleeves rolled up and willing and ready to do whatever I can to fight for Michiganders, to protect their cost of living, their health care. A lot of what's gone on with this government shutdown period is because the Senate and those of us who also agree with it said, hey, we can't put another health care cost crisis on the American people. The people of Michigan cannot take it. In my district, tens of thousands of people are going to be priced out of their health care. It just doesn't work, and it's not right. And you know, folks need to come to the table. I'm hoping that the president returns from his overseas jaunt to come home and to help the people of Michigan, to cut the deal for the people of Michigan. He's so busy cutting deals with every other country. Right. We'd like to see ours, too.
Well, and we need that. And, Congresswoman, I will absolutely agree with you on that point, too. Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, should absolutely get Congress back in session and start this. But it doesn't feel like that's going to happen until the government opens. And again, I struggle to think, and I know healthcare subsidies are so important. I think it's a worthy fight to have, but we can't have 42 million people not be able to eat food either. And I just, like, at some point, somebody has to step up and lead. And I think the American people in Michigan are just looking for somebody to take that mantle and say, okay, we have to do A before we can get to B. And your thoughts on that
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that in just a little bit, I am getting together by phone with colleagues like we do all the time to talk about this. Our Michigan delegation is working really hard. We are very coordinated, trying to find workarounds, particularly if this doesn't work, because November 1st is coming.
Yeah.
And what did I say about it not working is, agreeing with you that 42 million people are just going to be whacked across the face. And when you really dive into what these SNAP benefits mean and what they look like, I mean, here in Michigan, 43% of these recipients are children.
Yeah.
We've got seniors and the disabled. We even have some veterans who are on SNAP as well. And they can't just go in and buy hot and ready food. I mean, this is food that has to be prepared, that labor that goes into cooking a meal, and it's families work their lives around it.
Yeah.
And so what we get is just more headaches for people too, in addition to pain points around just one of the basic necessities, which is accessibility to good, nutritious food.
100%. And not only that, I guess one of my concerns is when you have people that have kids who are hungry, that where they can't afford the food because they don't have the food assistance that they rightfully deserve. A lot of problems can come from. I look, as a parent, if my kids were hungry, there's no telling what people are capable of when they have hungry kids.
Well, look at how much the governor works in the budget process, which we know at the state level was
That's a great
really
point.
tough.
That's a great point.
But they work to preserve free and reduced lunch for all students.
And she really led on that. There's no doubt. Yep. She was a great leader on that. She got in the room and she got a deal done, and that is exactly what the president should do as well. There's no doubt about that. But like the American Federation of Government Employees, the largest federal employee union, came out yesterday and said, we don't care who's at fault. We just want the government open. Is it time for Senator Slotkin, for Senator Peters to vote yes and reopen the government? Make the main thing before you can go fight for everything else.
Well, I'll certainly tell you that AFGE and their union president and the union leadership here in Michigan, I have tremendous respect for them and have been in regular communication. And that has absolutely caught my attention, and I know has caught the attention of others as well. And we do need to get to a compromise and to a deal. And I agree that this isn't a finger-pointing moment when, people are going to lose health care because they're priced out of it, or when people, all of a sudden can't get access to food in the way that they were used to getting access to food. Earlier this summer, I had a round table with our food banks and just started uncovering what they were dealing with because of cuts as well. So lots to do here. Thank you.
Congresswoman Stevens, I could talk to you all day. Thank you so much. I would love to have you back and we can talk more about this, because I think it does move the ball forward when we can have a conversation and bounce some ideas. I cannot thank you enough. Really appreciate it,
Let's
Congresswoman.
do it again.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
Congresswoman Haley Stevens represents Michigan's 11th District, 760 WJR.